Everything can change in an instant. A normal morning, people may be drinking tea, working in the office, or having a good time with their children at home. But suddenly the ground starts shaking. Everything goes haywire. Buildings start swaying. Things fall to the ground. People run to save their lives. And these terrifying moments are recorded by silent witnesses, CCTV cameras. Today we will see CCTV footage of the worst earthquakes in the history of the world. So let's get started. On October 30, 2020, just before Halloween, the employees of an advertising agency were working normally. Suddenly, the ground started shaking. A devastating earthquake of magnitude 6.6 to 7 began. The CCTV shows a girl running in panic to pick up her phone. The office lights were shaking terribly. Tables and chairs were running back and forth across the floor. An employee ran under the table. And at that moment, a light fixture fell from the ceiling. Another woman was nearly injured by a printer. But the horror didn't end there. This one earthquake was followed by 1,400 aftershocks. 43 of them were magnitude 4. On April 22, 2019, passengers were waiting for their flights at Clark International Airport in the Philippines. Suddenly, a 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck. The entire terminal building started shaking. Passengers ran for their lives. But many were trapped when debris started falling from the roof. CCTV footage showed the entire airport turning into a chaos. One man was nearly trapped in a security line. A light fixture fell from the roof, nearly injuring 2 women. On June 1, 2022, a 6.1 magnitude earthquake hit the city of Yiwan in Sichuan Province, China. But what we see here is truly commendable. The way the students of Luan Middle School hid under the table together shows how well they were trained in advance. Surprisingly, the school students hid under the table as soon as they heard the siren. Because a warning message was sent to 10 million people 9 seconds before the earthquake hit. What a great use of technology. On September 5, 2022, a 6.6 magnitude earthquake struck Luding County, Sichuan Province, China. A couple was driving home at the time. Their dashcam recorded the entire incident. On September 28, 2018, a terrible 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck the island of Sulawesi, Indonesia. But the real fear began when the tsunami waves started coming. First a 5-foot high wave, then suddenly a huge 18-foot high wave engulfed the entire island. CCTV footage shows a group of people preparing for an event. When the earthquake suddenly started, everyone started running in all directions. Things were falling from the roof. People were throwing themselves on tables in panic. Floor tiles were breaking and coming up. Water was pouring in from all sides. And the security camera next to the port was almost falling. A huge crane also overturned and crashed into the road. Sea creatures were seen coming over the wall on the coast. Sadly, this earthquake caused a humanitarian disaster by destroying thousands of buildings. On April 25, 2015, the worst natural disaster in the history of Nepal in the last 100 years was a catastrophic 7.8 magnitude earthquake. This earthquake not only destroyed the city, it also created a terrible avalanche on Mount Everest. The CCTV footage of Tripura city showed scooters, cars, and people moving normally on the streets. When the ground suddenly started shaking, everyone started running and the cars stopped. People gathered in the middle of the streets. No one wanted to stand near tall buildings. No one moved even after the earthquake stopped. Because they knew that aftershocks could come. But this clip showed very little of the actual devastation. 600,000 buildings in Nepal were damaged or completely collapsed. 9,000 people lost their lives. On August 14, 2021, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck Haiti. CCTV footage of a Modi store went viral on social media. In that footage, a woman was shopping in the store. When the earthquake suddenly started, she and another woman ran out of the store. After a few seconds, everything on the shelves fell down. The refrigerator fell off the wall. It can be said that the entire store was moving from side to side on wheels. Again, the 2015 Nepal earthquake. But this time it was a hotel swimming pool. The pool was not designed to withstand waves. But what a terrible wave was created during the earthquake. The CCTV camera started shaking. The water in the pool was overflowing from both sides. With each wave, it seemed like bigger waves were being created. Finally, when the earthquake stopped, the waves calmed down. Fortunately, no one was swimming in the pool that day. November decades. The epicenter was Madhavi Upazila of Narsingdi, just 27 kilometers from Dhaka. The earthquake lasted for 26 seconds, which seemed to many people like hours passed. And during this time, all such terrible scenes were captured on CCTV cameras. But what is even more frightening is that there is a risk of bigger earthquakes in this region. Because Bangladesh is located at the junction of the Indian Eurasian and Burmese tectonic plates. Between 1869 and 1930, only 5 major earthquakes above magnitude 7 occurred in this region. Experts say that if there is no preparation, there may be bigger disasters in the future. Osaka is the 3rd largest city in Japan. A terrible earthquake of magnitude 6.1 occurred on June 18, 2018. But the most surprising thing was that some cats in a cafe sensed the earthquake before it happened. The CCTV shows that the cats were jumping out of their beds after sensing something. And then when the earthquake started, all the cats ran around. However, the ground calmed down again as soon as the earthquake stopped. But how is this possible? According to the U.S. Physiological Survey, earthquakes release 2 types of waves. The initial P wave and the strong S wave. Animals can feel the P wave. But humans can't. So cats sense them in advance. Friday, November 30, 2018, 8:30 a.m. A magnitude 7 earthquake north of Anchorage, the capital of Alaska. Surprisingly, Alaska experiences earthquakes of magnitude 7 or higher every 1 to 2 years. So it wasn't unusual for everyone. But this time it was a little more terrifying. The CCTV camera at the Alaska Children's Academy preschool recorded the entire incident. The camera in the small classroom started shaking. And things fell from it. Although the staff later said that the cameras were hanging on hooks. That's why it was shaking so much. But the biggest lucky thing is that the school is always closed on Fridays. About 117 people were slightly injured. And the damage to the city was $30 million. A single second, just 1 second, can change the entire world. The streets that were calm moments ago suddenly start shaking. Buildings begin to sway, people start running, and a terrifying panic spreads everywhere. This devastating natural event is called an earthquake. An earthquake is a sudden shaking of the Earth's surface caused mainly by the movement or collision of massive tectonic plates beneath the ground. Inside the Earth, there are huge layers of rock called tectonic plates. These plates are constantly moving, but very slowly. When one plate suddenly collides with another or shifts unexpectedly, a huge amount of stored energy is released. When this energy reaches the Earth's surface, the ground starts shaking. That is what we call an earthquake. It is very similar to